appreciate the insight. This is a lot of information that can help out the setup and everything. I talked with Kenan last week about lighting, about lighting the space and getting stuff in the background. So I printed out this, which you can't see the whole thing, but it's from my 100-day challenge. Printed out the whole thing, and I'm just filling the space up. I changed my camera angle a little bit. I have to get a blackout curtain here. I want to do that.
Totally.
Get some decent lighting and everything. I have this one key light here, but I want to get one here to fill it in, not make this one be so fucking in your face type of scenario.
Totally.
So yeah, talking it, that's what's coming from this too. It's talking to people that have expertise in different areas that can give you pointers on things. It's so awesome, because you never would have experienced it. You talk to them on Twitter, you follow them on Twitter and stuff, but the question is, it's just, or him giving me advice and tips just came up so organically that it never would have happened if we wouldn't have had the conversation. So it's
oh yeah,
it's fantastic.
1000%. I agree. Yeah, I want to do a lot of that stuff too. I want to get a light bar, and I don't know. I want to get a LED Frostify logo. I think that'd be pretty fire to go right behind me over there.
That'd be pretty sick. That would be dope.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because the camera kind of aims downwards, so it's hard to position shit. I don't know. I'm probably gonna remodel or something. We'll see.
That's okay. All right, let's get started here, huh? Let's get started.
Yeah, heck yeah, I'm so ready.
I'll do the little intro. Okay.
Before audio's all good, right? You can't. I have a fan on in the background. I think Discord noise suppresses that, but can you do that?
Yeah, Discord does. I have a fan on here too, so I think we're both pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna move this a little bit here for a sec.
Yeah, you're chilling.
There we go.
Nice. So everything sounds crisp on my end. We're all good to go.
Yeah, you're good, and levels and everything is good too. That's something that I've seen a lot recently with my levels. Is that people have been peaking.
I feel that, because I've had some people that use headset mics, some people that have good quality mics. I've had people that use AT20. All the mics are different, so it's just a pain to tweak it. But yeah, awesome.
Levels are good. All right, let's go. Welcome back to the Creative Process Podcast with myself, Jared Klein. Today for episode 8 of season 3. Obviously, you can see that we have a guest on again. Frostify, welcome to the podcast, man. Thank you for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you for having me. I'm super stoked to be here. Really stoked to be here, actually.
Well, that's awesome to hear, my man. That's awesome. And I also got to throw out some thanks too with the time change. This has happened 2 weeks in a row. On Mondays, I forget that I have softball. I play slow pitch softball. I completely forget that I have softball, and I'm oh yeah, let's schedule one for 7 p.m. And then it comes up Sunday or Saturday, the couple days before. Oh shit, I have softball.
Totally.
I can't do it. but yeah, I appreciate the flexibility.
Of course, absolutely. I'm super happy to be here and super excited to talk about some awesome stuff today. No worries about the time change at all. I promise. You're totally chilling. I do this all the time. I mean, if anybody's watched my content, it's so inconsistent. I need to get with the program.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're chilling.
All right. Well, yeah. Introduce yourself. Who you are, where you're from, what do you do? Go as deep or as shallow as you want, my man.
Absolutely. So, anybody listening, my name is Frostify. I am a graphic designer and motion designer for Oni Studios. Absolutely fantastic people over there. And I also make YouTube content, tutorials, and other things like that to really just bring, design entertainment to a whole nother level and make it interesting and stuff. So yeah, that's who I am. So yeah, thank you guys.
Hell yeah, that was a really good intro. That was short and sweet. It's
Bro, I got my YouTube voice on right now.
I was gonna say it was like you've done this before,
Oh, for real. For real. We're vibing, bro.
Yeah. So graphic designer for Oni Studios. Oni Studio. Initially when we were talking before we started recording, I forgot that you worked for Oni Studios. What exactly is Oni Studios?
Oh man, Oni Studios. Honestly, guys, absolutely fantastic people. They are a studio based in Austin, Texas, that help content creators reach new heights in their career, right? So me personally, I've always been a massive fan of gaming, like huge fan of gaming, esports, YouTube content, stuff like that. So I really gravitated towards Oni because they offered a really, really, really good opportunity to kind of participate and bring content to new heights. So overall, Oni is fantastic. They do all sorts of stuff from, helping people market, helping people, with graphics, really just overall getting content to a whole new level. So absolutely fantastic people there. I've had a super, super fun time working there. And I definitely recommend you guys go check them out. Like they are absolutely fantastic. So yeah, they're pretty much like a studio that specializes in content creation niches.
So are they a competitor to VBI? Would you consider that? Or no? Are they kind of different?
I'd say it's a little bit different because VBI is very design based. So I mean, Oni is also very design based as well, but they do more so stuff on like the marketing ends. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you go look at their website, you can see all sorts of awesome services that they do. But yeah, I definitely say that they're more wide spectrum. Because VPI does phenomenal design work overall. But yeah, just more services offered. Probably.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at their website right now. I had no idea that it was founded by Cypher PK, and I don't know.
Yep. Absolutely amazing content creator, bro. Cypher's awesome.
Is that like his girlfriend, Daniela?
Yep, that's his wife.
Okay.
Super cool.
Wife, okay. I used to watch Cypher like back when I was in college, like with Fortnite and everything, and he was like one of the main content creators around Fortnite, so I had no idea he started this. I know he started Metal Umbrella. Did I get that right? Metal Umbrella?
You know the vibes,
yeah,
bro.
Okay, I couldn't even read that on your hat.
No,
I couldn't even read that.
You're chilling.
But yeah, like I know he started that. That's like his clothing brand, right? That's what he's doing? Yep. Okay.
Metal Umbrella is awesome.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, that kind of surprised me that he was like a founder of this. Okay. Awesome. So is it like a full production studio? Like is it that, or is it like I mean, you said it helps with like marketing and helps with, creating and content planning and, this, that, and the other thing. But do they do like, is it like management or is it like production?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty phenomenal what's going on.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I guess I've never. Yeah, so I'm looking on their website here. I guess, yeah, strategy and growth, personal talent coordinator, business development, production and resource tools. Yeah, so basically they got everything. They do.
Absolutely. They're fantastic. Fantastic.
All right. Well, yeah, yeah. So if you guys want to check out Oni Studios, it's ONI Studios. It's at ONI Studios GG on Twitter. So there you go. If you want to go connect with them, I know all the Frostify stuff will be in the description. I'll give you a little shout out too, and obviously at the end I'll say it when we close out. But Frostify stuff will be in the description. So if you just go to his Twitter, it'll be there. It's in his bio. So
absolutely, come check me out, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome arms, promise. I'm not scary. I don't bite.
Question about that too. Do you want me to put your link tree in, or just like?
Oh, that's entirely up to you. Overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, obviously, like, your link tree is where everything is, so.
Very true. I personally, like, obviously growth is, like, a big thing to me, but I don't really, like, pay attention to the numbers much, you know what I mean? I really like to think about, like, how people are impacted more than that. So, link tree or not, it doesn't matter at all. I mean, you don't even really have to plug my socials if you don't want. I'm just honestly super hyped to be here. No, seriously.
Calm down with that shit. Come on, that was a little bit too humble to be.
Hey man,
your socials are getting in there, bro.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think I'm trying to remember back on how we like connected. Did we just connect like recently, just because like?
Oh yeah, I think.
Was it just recently or?
Yeah, it's I can't really track a lot, but I believe like randomly. You checked out a tweet of mine. I can't remember if it was Frostcast related or not, but then you reached out. And honestly, I started listening to Creative Process a lot. I even checked out a few episodes before we even started following each other. So I was like, heck yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Like, It was very simple. DM'd, just started talking normally and just vibing. You know what I mean? Fantastic work on this podcast, by the way.
Thank
Literally, I've
you.
been listening to lots of episodes. I listened to the one with Mason, good homie of mine. The one with Deb was also fantastic. Like, you're
Hmm.
really diving into good topics, and I really dig that. So that's awesome.
I appreciate it. I really do.
Of
I
course,
really
of
do.
course.
If you're just listening, viewer, my smile is going ear to ear. I always love hearing that.
Absolutely,
I
bro.
appreciate the
It's all
good
about
words.
that influence.
I
All about
appreciate
that
it.
influence, and you're killing it. Absolutely.
So, based off your portfolio, I see a lot of esports stuff. That's mainly what's in there. Obviously, you have some of your YouTube thumbnails that are based around your content, but your portfolio, at least on Behance, has 100% esports stuff in there. So,
Absolutely.
I
Mad
want to
esports nerd over here.
yeah, I want to talk about that because that's where I come from. Now I'm working in sports. I kind of transitioned. I think that's a transition where we're seeing more and more and more
Oh, dude,
esports designers
100%.
going into sports. And honestly, I've been seeing sports design like when you make like a sports design like edit around like a player or like a game day or something, that's getting moved into the esports scene. There's a lot more
Yeah.
manipulation and like creativity in that sense in the esports scene. So let's talk about the esports scene. One, I mean, obviously you're with Oni, like you're working with them. My guess is that you take on freelance clients as well within the industry too. So I guess as the esports industry as a whole, do you see it as a feasible career path for designers, like for starting out and like getting into it and everything?
Absolutely. I think esports is fantastic. I've had quite a few experiences making work and stuff for side projects before getting hired, of course.
Hmm.
But it's been honestly amazing. One thing about esports is that it really has a unpredictable movement. You know what I mean? Like esports is absolutely fantastic, but it's not necessarily an industry that you can kind of step in and expect linear growth. It's very all over the place because it's really new.
Hmm.
Honestly, really I would like to say revolutionary, evolutionary. Like it's very on the brink of being new. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are studying it, really getting to understand like the demand for all of these digital games
Hmm.
and tournaments that happen, like the CDL stuff like that. And obviously those have been around for a few years, but overall esports is pretty good and it's fresh. You know what I mean? Obviously, right now, economy is kind of crazy, so you're gonna kind of expect job kind of like fluctuations and really honestly like weird things happening all over the place, like weird layoffs, maybe some budget cuts. It happens 100%. It happens.
Happens
um
everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. It's not even just in the esports industry. It's all over the place. Like, I mean, I even talk with like my parents all the time. My mom manages a store. It's super cool. It's like a fabric store, and there's quite a bit of short staffing because of hour issues and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So, esports honestly is good in its own industry as well. You know what I mean? So, like, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with esports. Absolutely not. It's just very, very new and unpredictable. So if you are getting into esports, first off, pat yourself on the back because esports is fantastic. It's a great industry to go into, amazing people to meet. But also expect that it's not exactly going to be the easiest wave. I mean, pretty much any industry isn't going to be an easy wave. You really just got to start somewhere and work and work and work until you can reach that final destination. And even then, the final destination isn't final. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
It's all about trial and error. And to be completely honest, I fell in love with esports because of the people and the culture. Esports has fantastic culture, so I definitely think if you are planning on getting into it, it is for sure something to look into.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, I'd say esports is a feasible career for a designer because there's a lot of jobs out there that offer, full-time salaries, part-time salaries, even internships to get your foot in the door.
Hmm.
Every single day, we're seeing esports jobs get valued more and more in other industries too. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Some people look and go, "Oh, you work for a gaming organization. That's really good. Like we need that culture." And you can get hired at, I don't know, a studio or something like that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So
Hmm.
I definitely think it's a good career path, but you have to stick to it and do not lose faith. I promise. Since it's not exactly linear, like pretty much any other industry, you're going to expect a lot of this. You know what I mean? Like going up and down, going through ups and downs, going through obstacles that you didn't know you would have to face. So just be prepared for that overall. That's what I would say personally.
Hmm. I'm very interested at what you said, like when it comes to the esports industry being new and people like that have been in the esports industry. Like I've been in it for I mean, I've known of it for like 10 years, but I've been like working in it for about 8 or 7 years. So
Yeah, very new.
it's like comparing to like the other entertainment industries, like the niche entertainment industries, sports, music, whatever you kind of gravitate towards when it comes to entertainment. Esports is very, very new. Like even going back 10 years, or I think 15 years is probably when it like first started, having consistent tournaments and consistent money pots and consistent, in several games. Now, like you're seeing like it ramp up faster and faster and faster, which I think is really good. Like they got into franchising in some games in the past handful of years, which is something that has been seen in, any other sports league in the world.
Yeah,
like
for
they're
sure.
starting to adapt franchising. They're like a lot of money is going into the industry, and it's I like to say like if you just got in the esports industry in the past 2 years, I want to know, like I want to talk to someone that has done that, because their outlook on esports, like they may say it's moving fast, but shit. Wait,
I know it.
have you
Yeah, I
just like the last two or what?
Yeah, I started esports in December of 2021.
Oh shit. Okay. So yeah, I want to ask you.
Very new. I know it probably is like, I know it's probably like, damn, like he's so fresh. Like he's here. Like how does he know this industry is not linear? You know what I mean? And the truth is, people, connections. Lots of connections. I have had a blast studying from other people in the industry overall, learning every day on how it works. Not just esports in general, but content, like how all of these different industries function is super fantastic to see and like really cool to watch. Like honestly, it's like probably the most fascinating thing I've ever encountered in my design scene, to really just see how these industries adapt, how graphics impact, analytics, how graphics impact sales, how, graphics impact social status, stuff like that. But overall, I've learned from a lot of amazing, talented esports designers how this industry exactly functions. And obviously, very new. I'm still learning every day, so I could be absolutely wrong. But 8 years, 10 years, how long did you say you were working in the esports industry? Like about 10, 8?
Well,
Something
yeah,
like
I've
that?
known of it for 10 years, but like probably closer to 7 years. Yeah. Over a little bit over 7 years.
Absolutely. So I'm not like a massive, massive esports like fanatic, no pun intended.
I like what you did
No,
there.
for real, for real. But like I overall am not like a mastermind at esports, but it is something that I definitely have gravitated towards, and I have become a massive nerd for it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the way they present game days, I personally think it's amazing how they franchise and overall bring a new type of like you said, entertainment style to the table.
Mhm.
That's why it's so new, because it's like technology and gaming tournaments is such a fresh idea. You know what I mean? And especially with like COVID and all of this other stuff going on, like the fact that like it's still standing and still going strong is a really, really good sign. You know
Mhm.
what I'm talking about?
Mhm. 100%.
So yeah, esports is honestly truly amazing. And obviously, I'm very, very fresh in the scene, so you got to keep in mind I'm very, very new. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely more of a fan of content. Like I love doing content creation stuff, but esports is definitely like one of those niches that I absolutely fell in love with.
Mhm.
Um but overall, I'm too fresh. I can say that it's exactly new, but it's because, I've learned from other people that it's very new. Lots of friends going through different experiences, lots of friends, getting good opportunities and sticking with it, and overall seeing it through to the end. Big events in the esports scene, lots of stuff like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty new to it. So, but overall, I see it lasting a while, like a really long time. So
I think the thing there is like it's going to be lasting a while, because gaming and like video games are only going to evolve. They're never going
oh
to go
yeah,
away. Like when esports first started out, like video games were still relatively, in their, I guess I wouldn't say infant stage, but like from when like competitive video games and competitive gaming, like what I remember was like, COD 3. That's what I remember, and that's how I base the start of esports off of. Like from then, which was like what, probably like 2006, 2007 for COD 3. I may be wrong. I may be dating myself.
That's a while.
So from then till now, it's changed a shit ton, but it's changed
So true.
it's changed for the better with the evolution of the video games that are being played and being played
Absolutely.
competitively. And with that becomes, as the game keeps getting played and people are enjoying the game, it develops a good community around it, develops a good, good content around it, and good, coverage when it comes to a tournament. More money's going to come in, and that's just going to fuel the fire, and then it's going to keep snowballing and everything like that. So it's one of those entertainment industries that's like you said, it's very new, but it has a lot of potential to be very consistent.
Yes, exactly. The potential's massive, and honestly, like it's only a matter of time before it truly takes off permanently, I'd say, because it's so revolutionary and technology is advancing. Like, we've got VR, we've got the metaverse. I don't know if any of those would play a role in esports, but we've got lots of technology advances, lots of new video games coming out. I mean, look at what happened with Valorant. It came out, it got its own league. Like, it's been a real thrive of like an esports franchise to do Valorant. League is there, Gears is there. You know what I mean? Like, as games come out, it's only going to expand the esports industry more. Personally, that's what I predict overall.
And before we know it, like we're gonna be seeing like an esports channel next to ESPN.
Yes,
there's gonna be like a consistent esports coverage channel, very similar to ESPN. That's gonna be all like covering everything that's going on. I mean, there's already seasons. There's already esports specific seasons, that go on in specific times of the year. So it's like, I don't see. I mean, there maybe are, but they're not. There maybe are channels like this, but they're not the mainstream TV media yet. They may be like on Twitch or on other. I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Like other broadcasting platforms. Yeah. So
absolutely.
I mean, but there's so much room for it.
Yeah, you have to think about how much media coverage it's getting now, though, even if it's not mainstream. Like, lots of stuff, dude. I mean, even esports news company brands are growing within the scene. Like, Dexerto,
That's true.
Jake Lucky, you got The Flank. You've got all of those amazing guys down there that are absolutely killing it with news coverage. So how do we know those guys won't become the next mainstream esports medias? You know what I mean? It's like, absolutely. You just gotta, honestly, like, esports is gonna pop, you know what I mean? Just the exact same way that content will. Like, I remember way back when YouTube started, it was like, I didn't use it much personally because it was so new, obviously. I don't even know, like, when was YouTube founded exactly? It was like, let me look it up real quick.
I was gonna say, I was about to look it up, but
YouTube was founded in 2005. So I was 1 year old when it was founded. Fun fact, guys, I was born in 2004.
2004.
Yeah, and actually, coincidentally, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 19th, 28th. It's like 6 days before my actual birthday, so that's crazy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it was founded in 2005, and it was fresh. No one used it. It was very, very fresh, and it started building up. Obviously, I'm a big YouTube nerd. Like, I'm probably the biggest content nerd because that's what I fell in love with ultimately, that niche in particular. So YouTube started out, probably could imagine that a lot of people didn't exactly use it, but as it gained more traction and entertainment value, it popped. You see YouTube evolving every day, you see Twitch evolving every day, all of these fantastic platforms for people to literally go upload, watch content for free, literally for free, you know what I mean? Lots of advancements, and I could see esports doing something similar. Actually, as a matter of fact, it kind of already is, if you really think about it. Like, you can watch the COD League for free on YouTube.
You know what I mean? They stream it live, and they strip their matches from there and post tournament too. So it's like, yeah, I mean, a lot of leagues do that. A lot of leagues, Overwatch,
Absolutely.
League, COD, CS, Valorant. I mean, CS has reruns on Twitch all the time. Like ESL, they have reruns of CS Grand Finals match or CS semis or whatever their last tournament was. They do those all the time. So it's like, it's only out there. It's always out there.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
Absolutely. And it's getting so massive that you've got, the media companies coming in for sponsorships. Like you've got YouTube Gaming signing a lot of, streamers. I know that's not exactly esports related, but you've got content
Oh,
stuff there.
100% it is.
Yeah, like I mean,
100% it's
it's
esports
same
related.
deal. You've got Twitch sponsoring, Fortnite events,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's absolutely fantastic. Both platforms are honestly killing it. I know there's like a lot of heated debates on Twitter. Which one's better, Twitch or YouTube? Because YouTube recently introduced like streaming, and they're competitors. They really are. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, they are both providing an immense amount of value of entertainment, and all for free. If you can really like fathom that you can just watch all that content for free and still they make revenue obviously off of ads and stuff like that, it makes you really wonder where this is going to go in the future in terms of esports, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's just fantastic because not only do the companies get paid but the creators get paid. The cash flow is more than likely perfect, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like really consistent. I mean, let me take that back. Maybe not completely consistent, but there's a lot of money involved and there's a lot of dedication and people that really want to see this scene thrive. And that is ultimately what is going to make it pop off
Mm-hmm.
because you've got so many passionate people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, kind of segueing into content since we just started talking about YouTube a little bit more. You personally, you have a YouTube channel. Obviously,
Absolutely.
it's around graphic design. I see you have done some reaction videos as well.
Oh, yeah.
Some top 5 designs. So, kind of give like a little scratch the surface here for the people, and then we'll get into content and everything about like scratch the surface about like your YouTube channel. Kind of promo that for the people a little bit.
Awesome. Awesome. So, my personal niche, like I've been saying, YouTube content has been that
Mm-hmm.
since day one, even as a little kid before even getting into graphic design. My dream was to make YouTube videos, you know what I mean? I don't want to be the best of the best, the biggest of the biggest. I just want to be able to impact people's lives, through content because I know that when I was a little kid watching content like that, like Sesso, big shout out to you if you're listening. Your YouTube content absolutely inspired me like to ridiculous amounts, and so I wanted to become that person for other people as well. You know what I mean? I want to be the person that I wish I had when I was starting 12 years old. I want to be able to help grow the graphic design niche. I want to be able to be there for people that wake up one day and go, you know what? I'm 15 years old. I'm a sophomore in high school and I really want to get into graphic design. Where do I start?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so a lot of, yeah, exactly. And a lot of my content on YouTube is really a kind of like mix between teaching and entertainment. You know what I mean? Because I really feel personally believe that it's better to have a balance between entertaining videos and also teachable videos. Because at the end of the day, you have to be providing a resource to your viewers. You know what I mean? You have to be there for them. You have to be able to stay consistent, which is, let's just say something am not the best at the moment, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I swear. um, but yeah, I do a lot of reaction videos. I really just overall want to help designers also get their names out there too. That's what the whole point of the top 5 designs of the week series was, and it's coming back soon. It was discontinued, but it's coming back soon, reworked. I want to be able to provide people a really easy platform to overall just showcase their talents. I can't tell you, man, how many like designers in this industry are so talented and are right on the edge of being like recognized, reached out to, commissioned, whatever the case may be, but there's just simply too much going on. You know what I mean? I want to be that person that's able to reach out and impact someone's life through content. Sometimes I get DMs that are like, "Yo, Frost, your recent video is super cool, helped me a lot." Warms my absolute heart. That is what I do this for, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, numbers are just numbers on a screen, they're pixels on a screen, but you can never, ever, ever forget changing someone's life. And personally, I'm not really saying I'm out here changing lives, of course, but my goal is to change lives. My goal is to get that person that wants to get into graphic design. My goal is to teach that person that wants to get into graphic design. My goal is to give ideas to people that want to do graphic design, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, like size personally doesn't matter, and that's something I really wanted to touch base on in this episode. I feel like a lot of designers focus on numbers rather than the value they're providing and their reach. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you get 5 likes on a tweet. It doesn't matter if you get 50 likes on a YouTube video. It doesn't matter if you get 10 likes on a video, 2 likes on a video. Those two people that liked that video enjoyed your content,
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed your designs, enjoyed whatever the case may be. So ultimately, a little introduction to my YouTube content. I ultimately just post for entertainment value because I personally love it. I mean, design is definitely like my passion. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So being able to make videos on it, not a problem at all. I absolutely love it, whether or not it's tutorials, reacting to design fails, or even just update videos. That's pretty much it. I did a lot of really cool series where I try to involve the community. That's the ultimate goal to, get people involved, to teach and to influence as much as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm. I love that, man. I
So
love that. At the end of the day, yeah, I love it. It like comes down to, you put being, I guess in a sense, well, not in a sense, you're kind of putting yourself into a vulnerable state, kind of show like wanting to teach people and talking from your experiences and everything, and then when it comes back to other people benefiting from that or taking a piece of that video or a piece of content and taking that as inspiration or as something that gets them started in X, Y, or Z, that's really what we do it for. I mean, obviously down the road, we keep doing it, and there may be money involved. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Getting paid to do what you love is something that we all look forward to. But, being able to spread value, like give value and, spread, that information that you've learned that maybe that you didn't get when you were first starting out. That's the ultimate goal in my eyes too. I'm coming from the same place that you are too when it comes to creating content, and especially when I decided to make this podcast too. Like that's where I was coming from. That's where I was like all about. I was like, I want to share what I've learned because I didn't have that when I started. So it's like, why don't I just do it then? It's one of those things.
absolutely. I definitely wish there was like people there to say, use invoices on PayPal instead of sending money. You'll get charged back. I wish there was people that said, you need to be careful for scammers. Stay consistent. Your audience will be there. Like that's the kind of stuff that I want to teach. I want to be able to really just reassure everyone that watches my content and overall is interested in design that it is all a process and it is okay to fail. It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to absolutely butcher a client order. Like it's okay for all of that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's all a learning experience, just like any other thing, like you make mistakes and you grow. And quite frankly, I had to go through those mistakes. I wouldn't say alone, but definitely a harder way. You know what I mean? That's why I want to be able to sit here and be able to talk about my experiences. And overall, like, you're right. I will put myself in a very vulnerable position a lot because at the end of the day, I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm going to be very honest about, the hardships I've had to go through, the stuff that I've had to not sacrifice. Because to be completely honest, I haven't really sacrificed much. I've gone through a lot of hard times in life, but nothing design related. Um, I ultimately just want to be there to reassure that everything's going to be chill. You know what I mean? And it is a process because as a 12-year-old starting, as a little kid starting, I definitely did not believe that this was going to get to this point. You know what I mean? I was just a little kid messing around on a laptop. That's what it was. I remember I got my first client order for $20 and I lost my shit. I was like 13 years old. I was like, oh my God. First ever mistake I made, completely transparent. I'm going to say it right now. I was 13 years old, got paid $20 for the stream package, and I spent all the $20 before the order was completed. I'm sure all of you guys can see where this is going next because obviously following that, client requested a chargeback or a refund, and it was a pain, but that's what I'm here for, like you chalk up these mistakes and you move forward, I had to get my mom. I was like, Mom, listen, I screwed up. This client paid me $20. This was like way earlier on, like before I even like was really into the Twitter community, like I probably had like 30 followers. Like just to give you an idea of how long ago that was probably like 2017, 2016, like something very, very, very long ago. But ultimately, we all make mistakes in design, and yeah, that's what my content's here to teach, like really just teach how I got to the point that I'm at, how, you can really establish yourself and build yourself, your graphic design business overall.
Yeah, I mean, I like to say, like, yeah, I went to school. I went to school for graphic design and everything. I guess, what are you, 18? 19?
Yeah, I'm 18 now.
18. Are you looking in to go to school for graphic design?
To be completely honest, like I don't necessarily have like a solidified business plan, but overall, I wanted to really dive into, making this full time and seeing where it leads.
Mm-hmm.
If stuff doesn't end up working out and all that, school is definitely on the back of my mind. I definitely picture it as an option. I know you can definitely get the same material being self-taught, but
Mm-hmm.
personally, design school, especially like I mentioned earlier with COVID and stuff, a lot of people have lost, including me, believe it or not. I know I'm very open with content and very open with talking to people, but I have crippling social anxiety. Like it's so bad when I go out, I can barely even have a conversation. So design school would be more than just learning design for me. It'd be meeting new people,
Mm-hmm.
taking advice from professors, stuff like that. So it is definitely on the back end of my mind for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say something like that, like going into like about my experiences too, and like going into design school and using school and going through it. I graduated, let's see, a year ago, so May
Nice.
of 21, I think. Right? That's right. Yeah, it's 2022. May
That's
of
super dope.
yeah, May of 21. I graduated a year ago. Honestly, I coming like coming from a stance of I was designing since seventh grade. Coming from that stance, like designing preschool, like pre-college, I necessarily don't think it was needed. But
Yeah,
with the job that I'm at now, I needed the degree to get the job that I have now. It 100% depends on where you want to go in like, in your profession. If you want to stay freelance, if you want to stay, working within what you're doing, like working within like esports and stuff, especially esports, you don't really need a degree to get a
absolutely.
job in esports. You don't. Granted, you don't need a degree to get a job in design, period. You don't. You don't at all. Trust me when I say this, you do not need a degree to get a design in sports or esports at all.
Very true.
Granted, those are the only industries that I know, so that's all I'm gonna say. I don't know anything else about any other industries. But like I look back now on school, and it was good that you brought up like the communication aspect of it, and like being able to talk, being able to feel comfortable asking people for advice, or feeling comfortable meeting new people and meeting new classmates. Specifically, I look back on college. It's like I learned how to take constructive criticism in college. I remember when I
Exactly.
took my first Art 101 class, like to start out my gen eds, I like folded when I got feedback. And now it's just one of those things that
It's a
comes with
regular.
comes with being a designer, comes with the career. So it's like I don't think, like looking back, I don't think I would be in a worse spot if I didn't go to school. Honestly, I think I would have, like, when I was in school, that was like my plan A, and like I had a plan B, to where if I didn't go to school, I only had a plan A. Or I guess, okay, I said the first part wrong. School was my plan B. Freelancing and doing esports stuff, and doing what I was doing before school,
Exactly.
that was my plan A. So school was my safety net. So like if school
Yeah.
didn't work out, I was like, okay, whatever, I can go do this. But school ended up, I ended up using the 4 years to go. But if I didn't go to school, I probably would have, I would have dedicated myself a little bit better, a little bit more to my personal craft, and be more specific to the industry that I loved before I went into school. Granted, I still love it, but I'm just not. I haven't been in it as much as I used to. So like when it comes to school, I don't know where I was going with this point because I just started rambling. But I
No,
guess
you're
I
totally
guess
chilling,
like
man.
I guess like when it comes to school, especially if you're watching this podcast from like following Frost, like don't feel like you have to go to school to become a good designer. Like I
So true.
like YouTube University, man. That's what
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
YouTube
I
University, like Skillshare, like there's so many different platforms you can pay the fraction of, even if
it's
you want to pay
oh
pay
yeah.
the fraction of the price that would cost you to go to school, and you can get the same, you can honestly get the same education in a way.
Honestly,
You know?
honestly, I might take this opportunity to plug something real quick. Well, not plug. It's not out yet. But I mean, anyone who's listening, you got early access. Congrats. So I would 100% agree. Me and Homescope talked about this in the Frostcast episode about how there
Mhm.
is so much material on YouTube, dude.
Mhm.
Like, I cannot even explain to you how many graphic design tutorials there are. There's duplicates, there's original content, there's new content, there's all sorts of cool stuff you can look at. I mean, this Friday, I'm uploading a video called 25 Photoshop tips and tricks in 10 minutes, right? Like you can find stuff like that all over the place. Tips and tricks, tutorial videos. That's exactly how I started out. I mean, do you think I learned how to make a Behance tutorial or Behance portfolio on my own? No, absolutely not. You think I learned how to use Photoshop on my own? Absolutely not. It's exactly why I mentioned Sesso. He was one of the big playing factors in me learning design because his tutorials were very, very high quality and very resourceful for someone my age starting graphic design. You know what I mean? And so you can go and find that stuff. Like right now, if you go up, like literally think about anything. If you look up how to make an esports header, there will be at least 200 plus tutorials there for you to follow. And you could just keep branching off of that. And the best thing about it is the tutorial acts as a foundation. So if you start the tutorial and you work through the tutorial and stuff, it's only like it's almost like a tree, like with different branches and stuff. You start with the foundation, which is the tutorial, and then you do the design, but that design can lead into your own style. It can lead into a new discovered passion. Like maybe you have a similar journey to me. Like I started graphic design and then I discovered motion and I fell in love with motion design. You know what I mean? Like that's honestly like the best part about graphic design is it's so flexible and feasible to your own routine that you have like so much room to fail, but at the same time you have so much room to adapt. You know what I mean? You can learn anything you want. Like right now I can go on YouTube right now and type in how to learn Swiss typography, and I could watch a tutorial and hone that craft for a few weeks and become familiar with it, and then that'll be a new skill set added to the arsenal. You know what I mean? YouTube, Skillshare, all of those guys are highly, highly, highly underrated. Like, if you are not looking up YouTube tutorials, even as an experienced designer, I personally think that you are missing an opportunity there. There is a lot of stuff you can learn on YouTube, so I absolutely agree. Lots of cool places you can do. I mean, personally, this is what I was talking about the plugging. I'm recently gonna start a new YouTube series. It's gonna be called the Frostify Design Academy, and it's just gonna be a bunch of free tutorials. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to be able to give that to viewers and stuff like that. And yeah, there's just tons of stuff you can look at. So keep an eye out for YouTube and definitely search what you want to learn. You know what I mean? If you want to learn motion design, search how to do motion design. I promise you will find that. And you just got to keep with it, stay consistent. And if you learn, it's going to be really, really good for you and your career moving forward personally. That's what I think.
So if someone listening to this wants to go that route or is already going that route, do something for me. Get a mentor in the space. Get a mentor in the space that you that you see as, like, honestly, if you see the person on Twitter and you're afraid to ask them a question, ask them to be your mentor. That's the question you should be asking. Because like if you hold this person on a pedestal, that is something that is like that's a place where where they are in their career, you value that. You value where they are, you value what they've done and what they are doing. So be in their ear. Honestly, be a pest. If they don't give you anything back, don't annoy them. Obviously, like, get that social cue. But like if they're completely open with talking with you, answering your questions, be a pest, be annoying. Know how to ask questions and get feedback while you're going through this route of like learning new material, new things online, learning how to do different things, because there are certain things in graphic design that, like, yes, you can search how to make a YouTube header, but there are aspects of design that you need to know, like composition, different compositional type of things,
contrast,
color theory, contrast, different they're like gestalt principles of graphic design. Like, I probably said his last name, but like there are some things that you need to know about graphic design, like you really need to know about graphic design, that has you start from the base, and you're not gonna learn that, if you don't know how to search it. I guess in a way, you reaching out to someone more experienced, they're gonna be able to tell you, hey, when I was your age or when I was in your position, these are the things I didn't really know what to search. This is what you should search. This is like, especially when you come with a design, like ask them for feedback, they're going to tell you, hey, the composition is a little wonky and you're not going to know how to fix it, you know? That's
Exactly.
in a sense where like, okay, like I know how to blend things really well. I know how to use type really well, but do I know how to compose, like put assets onto a canvas and compose something really well and know why it's composed a certain way. Especially once you get into marketing, that stuff is humongous to learn, and that stuff is
Oh, so true.
like that's gonna make or break a marketing piece. If you don't
Oh,
know
very true.
composition, you don't know focal points, you don't know, rule of thirds is a huge one. Everyone knows rule of thirds, So like if you don't know those types of things, which are taught in school, that's where I started with, that was taught day one in school. Like there are some things that are majority, I guess to shorten it without me rambling again, there are some things that are majority taught in school that if you don't go to school, you need to have a mentor to learn those. Or you need to have someone that has gone through it to learn those things. So do that.
Very
Get a
true.
mentor.
Very true. Yeah, another thing that's also really keen to look at, and something that helped me a lot when I was growing and really starting out, is overall finding a friend group at your level. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Really, like, connecting and networking is key. I read a quote one time. I'm sure I've said it before on, like, other podcasts, my podcast, maybe a YouTube video even. The quote is, if you want to be successful, surround yourself with people who want to be successful, people who
Mm.
want it as bad as you. You know what I mean? Overall, dude, like, it's so underrated to learn off of other people. Like, I feel like people don't do it a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's very it's very key to do that, whether or not it's getting feedback from a big artist. And you guys would be surprised like how many big artists are in the scene that will respond. You know what I mean? Like you have to understand that these people are human too. You know what I mean? Like they are just as willing to help out. Like
Mm.
you gotta exactly, yeah. That's pretty much what I've got to say there because ultimately networking and connections is going to be probably one of like your best factors and tools that you can use to really learn from each other. Like if you're not looking at tutorials, that's the second best option, absolutely. Like you can totally learn from a friend who's been in the space longer, the fundamentals of graphic design, contrast, rhythm, hierarchy, whatever the case may be. I definitely think that's something that people should take into account. And don't be scared to reach out. Exactly what Jared said. Like, if you reach out to people and they don't respond, don't nag them because that's just extremely disrespectful. But if they reach out with feedback, like, genuinely treat them like humans and take in their knowledge. You know what I mean? There's nothing more special than learning from other people, in my opinion.
100%. 100%. Okay, so I think like that's where we are, man. That's where we are. That's what we wanted to talk about. Like the person, like you listening, you hearing this right now. There's so much content to go back into this podcast, especially honestly, like if all you listen to is the last like 15 minutes of this podcast, that it's about like building yourself as a designer educationally and like being able to learn what you want to learn by not wasting $25,000 to go to school. I'll say that. I'll throw a
For real.
monetary.
It's expensive. It is
It's so
expensive,
expensive.
for real.
And 25,000, like that's the low end. Imagine going to like Savannah College of
Oh
Design
God,
or
bro. I wanted, yeah, for college, I really wanted to go to Cal
Jeepers.
Arts. Oh,
Expensive,
the
man. School is expensive.
dude. I think it's like 80K. I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, school is
Sorry.
expensive.
It is. It really is.
But yeah, so to kind of close out here, obviously, thank you for being on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking your time and the flexibility before, us starting and us hitting record. I really appreciate that, man.
Of
It's
course.
been an awesome conversation and awesome to meet you.
Absolutely. It's been awesome to meet you too.
seeing your content on, YouTube and Twitter, what you're pushing out, what you're standing for is awesome, and I wanted to have a conversation. I think it went really, really well. I think it went really, really
Thank
well.
you. Thank you. I'm honestly so happy I got to be on and talk about, my goal with content and
Hmm.
overall like my vision with content because I don't just think that like, design content on my end is going to be really nice. Like like the graphic design, sorry, I'm like stumbling over my words.
No, you're
Graphic
good.
design content scene is going to get big eventually. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's such an untapped market. So I think it's a great way to also market yourself if you want to get into content. If you are thinking like, damn, I want to help people, I want to be able to teach graphic design. What is stopping you? Absolutely nothing. Go do it. You know, you've got one of these, you've got a phone, you can totally go hit record. You don't need a lot of equipment. Do what makes you passionate. Doesn't matter what other people think.
Awesome, man.
So,
Awesome. Well, to the people listening, go down below, check out Frost's links. His link tree will honestly be down there. So click his link tree if you've never heard of Linktree. Click on it. Everything else will be in there. It'll take you to an external tab. All his links to his socials, Twitter, YouTube, probably not Facebook because no one uses Facebook. You know, everything else, his portfolio, that'll all be there. Click on that. Go connect with the man. And yeah, so thank you for listening to episode 8 of season 3 of the Creative Process Podcast. I really thank you guys for coming out today. And as always, before we end it off, make sure you go and tell someone that you love them. All right. We will see you next time. We will see you next time on episode 9. Take it easy. Peace.
Absolutely.